Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome to Star Wars Weekly. This is your show, your place to go for the latest in Star Wars news, comics, video games, books, and more. I'm having a good time. It's Halloween here, so I'm doing my best to represent a Miralucan Jedi or perhaps Daredevil, but should I dare crossing streams? Maybe. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. I do this every single week, guys, so make sure you go ahead and support the channel by subscribing. Okay, so there you go. I had to take the mask off because, well, I need to talk to you guys about Battlefront 2. Plain and simple, I'm super excited about this game. They are reinvigorating this entire game. It started off with a rocky start, but we got General Grievous playable this week in Star Wars Battlefront 2. He is heralding in a new age of Battlefront with all of these new prequel characters, including Count Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, who are going to be added later to the game. So let's talk about General Grievous. His abilities, he has something called Thrust Surge. So with a little bit of a delay, he's able to thrust forward a few feet and actually knock his opponents down. Another ability he has is Claw Rush, which can be both used as an escape method and a way to engage in combat. It's very disheartening to see him go to the ground, very disturbing actually. You see him getting to the ground and going forward and trying to knock people up in the air. Very cool, very creepy looking. And his final move can be seen in Revenge of the Sith. Yes, that is unrelenting advance. He has all 4 lightsabers. And he does this slow walk forward, which will block anything that's coming at him from the front. And it will also just pulverize people if they actually are unfortunate enough to end up in the grasp of his lightsabers. Other additions to Battlefront 2, or improvements rather, were to the squad system in Galactic Assault. There are now little mini icons next to your mini-map that really designate who is using what role out of your 4 squad mates. So I really appreciate that squad spawn system that's been implemented. It works super well and adds so many layers to the game, especially if you're playing with your friends. You're able to coordinate who's playing what. If you need an officer for heals, you can get somebody spawned in on top of you in the middle of the match. It's really, really great and it seems pretty balanced so far. Another addition was some improvements to the health cards for heroes, so that way they are a little bit tankier, they can last a little bit longer in combat. And the final new thing added was the Naboo and 1 starfighter in the Hero Squadron game, the game mode. So if you die, you can, and you're rebels, you can spawn in as an N1 Naboo, a starfighter. It's really fun, really cool. I just love seeing that fighter on every other map that isn't just the battlefield, because up until that point, that was the only place you could see it, and it is one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. So yeah, Battlefront 2 definitely changing for the good. If you guys have been off of the game for a while, I would highly recommend going in and checking it out. They've made some great improvements, and they did actually confirm that there's going to be content coming in 2019, so it's great to see that game have some legs and go past its initial year of launch, and it's looking pretty healthy with these monthly updates. So yeah, I'm on Xbox. If you guys want to add me at Starrapter, I'm always willing to play with you guys on Xbox with that game for sure. Okay, so moving over to the comics, both of them this week were from IDW. The first one is Star Wars Adventures issue number 15. So as always, there are 2 stories. The first one is called An Unlikely Friendship, and this is in the sequel trilogy era, and this is with Poe Dameron, BB-8. They go to this planet. They are on the run from these guys, and they run into this little kid named Corey, and he's on a planet where it's basically lacking of technology. So this kid is actually able to help both Poe and BB-8 get out of there safely. Some things I like is Corey just really struck a strong attachment with me. I really like this kid. He kind of seemed he had a lot of promise to him, and even Poe Dameron actually says that, hey, you know, you should join the Resistance one day because I think it might be good to have you in it. He's very resourceful. He's got this little boomerang, kind of like Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. So yeah, I really enjoyed how he was working with BB-8 and whatnot. And I like the whole aspect of this plot about how somebody who is not up with technology can still help somebody else. It was nice seeing a planet that had tribespeople. Last time we've seen that is probably in the Phasma novel with Parnassus, with her dealing with her background and all that sort of thing. I did like seeing how BB-8 was actually functionally using his little flame attachment other than to just give people the thumbs up or the middle finger. I guess some people think that maybe he's using the middle finger sometimes. I could see that. So cool, we actually see that. And I really dug the artwork more than a lot of the other Star Wars Adventures. This one, for some reason, just really stuck out to me. The colors are great. Star Wars Adventures, they always have great artwork, but for whatever reason, this one really stuck out to me. And the backup story for Star Wars Adventures number 15 has to do with the Flight of the Falcon series, and this is part 2 of that, and it's called The Planet of Misfit Droids. We have Han Solo, we have Chewbacca, we have Leia, we have C-3PO, we have Luke. They're all on the Falcon. They land on none other than Lothal Minor. If you remember that name, that's because that was from the Clone Wars. That was the planet, the junk planet that Savage Opress happened across none other than Darth Maul, or at that time Maul. So that's where he finds them on, in that junk planet. So it's really cool to actually see this planet at a later date. So what happens is C-3PO walks out of the Falcon, and the other droids around them notice that, hey, he doesn't have a restraining bolt, and that causes them to revolt. Very easy to revolt against this Neimoidian guy. And they make themselves free, and that's basically where it goes. Bazina Tau is trying to find the Millennium Falcon. The droids that were in that adventure are now in her presence, and they basically give her a hint of where they can, or where she can find the Falcon next, which has to do with a certain bounty hunter with a certain steel hat that he throws around. If you guys know the Clone Wars, then you're going to know who that character is. Next up, we have the ending to this fantastic miniseries by IDW that is Star Wars Adventures Tales from Vader's Castle. For our last issue, that is one awesome cover. I really dig it. Just very simple, black and red, so Vader. I really enjoyed this issue. So we have Lena Graff and her crew. They're stuck on Mustafar after crash landing. They've been telling each other stories to kind of get time to go by and trying to survive. And they're at a pivotal point when Vinny, that is the caretaker of Vader's castle that you see in Rogue One, he has alerted to Darth Vader that these rebels are in the castle, and they don't even realize that they're in Darth Vader's castle. So all throughout this issue, it's basically Lena and Scriff, who is this little insectoid creature, humanoid thing, that are trying to get out of there, and they do so successfully. And she even rescues Crater that got destroyed, but there are a few characters that actually never make it out of alive. So you got the one character, Hub, as well as one of the other droids. You never hear about him again, but Lena Graff gets in a TIE fighter along with Skrit and Crater, and they get out of there. So things I really liked about this issue is it does thread everything together into one cohesive story. You figure out that these stories that they were telling throughout this miniseries are very impactful for the character of Skrit. You know, you learn more about the courage of Chewbacca and different things like that, that the Sith and the Jedi working together with, you know, Dooku and all in that one previous story. So it's nice to see how they get all this knowledge, he uses all this information and uses it for the better, and it's able to get him and Lena out of there. As far as lore, I wasn't expecting to dive this much into lore, this heavy for an IDW comic, because we get a little bit of backstory for Mustafar. And if you guys are reading the Charles Soule amazing run of Darth Vader, you're going to realize that there are some crossover bits in here. So we know in that current series, we find out why and how Vader is building the Mustafaran castle of his own. And we do realize that when that is built in this story, they talk about the Mustafarians having a revolt and a rebellion against the castle, and Vader just stops them in their tracks. He goes all Rogue One on them and just wipes them out, and they never want to bother him again. They say it's their homeland, but then Vader tells them otherwise. So I thought that was really cool, just getting this like couple panels of just absolute brutality from Vader. Another thing I really liked is the design of these guard droids. They kind of remind me of General Grievous's droids as well. They look really cool. And as well as another new thing introduced were lava troopers. So we finally got an official name on those cool black chromed out troopers. So yeah, I want to see more of these guys. Hopefully get them maybe as an alternate skin in Star Wars Battlefront or something. That'd be pretty cool as well. So overall, I really enjoyed these Tales from Vader's Castle. They really hit all the right chords as far as horror for Star Wars. I mean, it's an all-age comic. There are some things that are a little bit scary for kids. Like, I was a little bit freaked out by the Gorax in the last issue for the Ewok Adventure one in issue number 4. But it did have a little bit of everything from witches to ghosts to just monsters and everything else in between that. I think this was a great little run that they had all in October to kind of build up the hype for Halloween. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Tales from Vader's Castle. Really good stuff right there. Okay, so I'm going to do another book giveaway. This time it's for Star Wars Lando's Luck, written by Justina Ireland. And this book is really just like the epitome of an adventure for Lando Calrissian. This one takes place before Solo, a Star Wars story. It's him and L3. They're going across the galaxy. They run into this princess. No, it's not Princess Leia. It's before that. And they have these great adventures. Lando learns a pretty good lesson, and I highly recommend the book. I have my review on the channel right now that you can check out. How you can win this book is through using Twitter. So I'm going to pin the video of this particular video. All you guys have to do is retweet that video and make sure that you quote that tweet saying what your favorite Lando quote is in the description there, as well as make sure you live in the United States of America. I have all the rest of the rules listed down in the description down below, and this one will run until the deadline will be November 15th, so you have 2 weeks from the date of this video to get that done, and the winner will be notified on November 16th. So good luck to all you guys out there to try to win Lando's luck. Okay, so this week's question comes from Matthew Wilson at The Geeks Attic on Twitter. He asked me, hey, do you have any theories about the Knights of Ren? What do you think Ren even means? Is it a person, place, or thing? And finally, do you think we'll get info on them in episode 9, or just hold on to hope that they appear in a book? Well, I think the Knights of Ren are some of the most interesting things in Star Wars right now. I really just enjoyed seeing that glimpse of them in The Force Awakens, and I think there's just so much to explore because there really hasn't been any information shed on them. So this is a great question, and I really just think that it could be based more on a thing, not a place, not a person, because we know that Kylo Ren idolizes Darth Vader. So that is his like one person that he really fixates on to become. So I don't think there'd be another Ren that he would really admire. So much more of an idea. I think the Knights of Ren will be more of an idea. Just like the Sith are an idea, just like the Jedi are an idea. I think it's going to be kind of more of a sort of religion, because even at the end of The Last Jedi, Kylo Ren is talking about destroying the Sith, destroying the Jedi. Doesn't say anything about the Knights of Ren, so they're still out there doing something. I wish we could have learned more about them in episode 8, but there was a lot going on, and it was just so close to The Force Awakens that I think without a doubt we're going to definitely hear about what they are, what their ideals are in episode 9, especially since J.J. Abrams is the one that planted that seed in episode 7. He's going to want to kind of take the ball and run with it in episode 9. I really hope he does. I feel like this is just too big of a concept to get explored in a book. Yeah, they do reveal some big things in books, but something like that was, you know, said in a movie, I think it's going to be definitely something that they're going to want to talk about in a movie first, and maybe they'll get more fleshed out in a book. Hey, maybe we'll get like a Knights of Ren trilogy of books or something. That'd be great. But yeah, they're definitely going to mention them more in the movie coming up. But yeah, I think it's just an idea. And because you look at them in that one picture, I think Kylo Ren is the only one that actually has a lightsaber. These other people have like Force pikes maybe, or something else of that nature. When I think of Knights of Ren, I also think of the Acolytes of the Beyond. Now, they are from the Aftermath series or trilogy of books by Chuck Wendig. They were kind of these like people that are after artifacts of the dark side. They are interested in Darth Vader's lightsaber, stuff like that. So maybe even if the Acolytes of the Beyond transitioned into the Knights of Ren, that could be something else entirely. But yeah, I think it's just an idea, and they're kind of like Crusaders or something of that nature. I just really want to learn more. So again, great question. I do these questions every single week. It's very simple to get your question answered on here. You can do one of two things. You could either leave a comment in the comment section below of this particular video. Make sure to hashtag it Star Wars Weekly so I know to choose that question answer on the video. You can also tweet me at Starrapter using hashtag Star Wars Weekly. Any questions are up for grabs. Theories, just general questions about places, people, things, whatnot. So yeah, hope you guys get involved because I love talking to you guys, and I want to bring the attention to you guys through YouTube because you guys have awesome questions and I want to make that known. So next week you guys can look forward to Star Wars issue number 56, Han Solo Imperial Cadet issue number 1, as well as Star Wars Adventures Destroyer Down. But what did you guys think about this week's releases? Are you coming back to Battlefront 2 to play General Grievous? How about the Tales from Vader's Castle? Did you enjoy those? As well as what do you think of the Flight of the Falcon series of comics and books? Let's talk about them all in the comment section below. If you like this video, you can support the channel by subscribing. And that is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.